Here's everything you need to know about Ashley Trevino and the dumpster fire that nobody can stop watching. These two got into a fight last night on a live and had almost 100,000 people in watching it. So Ashley and her family live in Texas. Ashley claims to be 35 years old, although a lot of people question that. She has two kids. One is 13 and one is 15. They are both girls. And allegedly, she did not raise her daughters. Her mother had to raise the two of them because of CPS complaints, so complaints to Child Protective Services. The girls both live with her now. She lives in an apartment that TikTok is paying for with the gifts that you all are sending her. She did work at a dentist office, but she quit. Apparently, they went under new ownership, and she said she will not be working with Indians. Apparently, she said that on a live. From what I can figure out, she doesn't treat her girls very well. I've seen her dragging them to places so she can party with her friends. I've seen her talking inappropriately on camera with her girls there, including last night. I've also seen her use slurs when she's talking to her girls and also teaching them to say slurs. She's also on camera talked about the fact that she treated her oldest daughter the worst. And she actually described one time where she grabbed her daughter by the hair and drug her across the floor. Now, she does say that the father of her daughter, she thought, liked her daughter best, and she was apparently jealous of this. Now, I think a lot of the reason people started watching her is because she was dating people in prison and she would call them on a live and talk to them. And these are people that are in there for doing really bad things to other people. I think the first boyfriend that we saw on here was Jesse. He was in prison. They started a relationship. They talked all the time on here. And then he got out of prison and they were kind of off and on, but he spoke horribly about her and she still stayed with him. I don't know if they're still hanging out or what, but they still go live together all the time now. Then she dates another guy who's in prison for killing a couple people. She's on live saying that he's innocent and how much she likes him. Then she finds out that he may have had a wife as well while he was in prison. Anyway, they broke up as well. Then we meet this guy, Santos. He's 19 years old, and remember, she claims to be 35, so huge age gap, but he's basically a baby who thinks he's super cool. He's now in the picture, and they met online. He hasn't been in prison yet, but give him some time, right? He's young. He's 19. I think that they actually met because her daughter saw him online and thought he was cute, had a crush on him apparently, and then they ended up hooking up. Now, they've been going live together a lot, and this is what people can't stop watching. They go live, they talk about sex, they talk about sex toys. Her girls are in the background telling her to stop, that it's disgusting. They're laughing, having a great time. He flies from California to Texas to be with her, and then there is an infamous Instagram live where she flashes her tatas on camera, and then her mother won't speak to her because she's so disgusted that she flashed the whole world with her boobs. I should also mention that they record everything. The first time they met, she's getting ready with this like makeup artist and she's recording the whole thing. They go to some bar and have dinner and the whole thing's being recorded. It is so cringe, so awkward. She gets on a live and says that he has seen her, what she calls a nunu, and that she has seen his pee-pee. And then they end up rapping a song using these words. Then she comes back on another time and says that they haven't even hooked up and that was all BS. Now, in order for you to get a big picture of exactly why everyone is talking about these two and can't stop watching, we need to talk about some of the lives. Now, last night was my first time watching a live that they did, and it was ridiculous. The two of them get into a fight, and anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, it is on my YouTube channel. I'm just under the recap with Julie, or you can click the link in my profile if you want to go check it out. But I'm going to talk about some previous lives that they've done. Now, I haven't seen these, but there's a ton of people that are on here explaining the lives. So I just watched a bunch and I'm going to explain to you what I've figured out. Okay, we need to start on Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, it seems like she couldn't wait to get rid of her daughters. They end up leaving to go somewhere and she is cooking supper for Santos. That's all she can talk about all day, is making this brisket for him. He ends up falling asleep apparently and won't answer his phone. She's all upset. She's ripping mad. She finally gets a hold of him. She says she hates him. He ends up coming over anyway, and then everything is just rainbows and sunshine again. Now, when he shows up at her house, he brings a couple girls with him. They all start partying, having a great time. And at this point, he was not saying he was 19 years old. He's trying to say he's older. People online knew he was younger though and started calling the police. So the police got so many reports about this that they end up going to her house and like busting the party. So he tries to give them a fake ID. They take the fake ID. He then gets on camera and he's crying, saying his career's over and that he's this like club manager and how anyway, the whole thing was completely ridiculous. A couple days ago, her oldest daughter, who has her own TikTok channel, hit 500,000 followers. So she claims that they're going to have this big celebration for it. So she rents an Airbnb, she takes her daughters there, and these random girls that she's met through him show up as well at the Airbnb. You don't even see the daughters on camera. They're off in some room doing whatever, while she and these girls are like drinking, smoking, partying, having a great old time. And lo and behold, who shows up on her live? None other than Perez Hilton, the king of gossip himself. He gets on and he starts asking her questions saying like, is this guy your boyfriend? And she's like, no, he's my boy toy. And Perez is like, you know he's 19, right? And she claims that she thought he was older at the time, which she totally could have because I think he was lying about it too. Anyway, these other two girls that are there with her as well get on camera with Perez Hilton. They're all like starstruck, saying that they watched him all the time when they were little. He catches wind and he ends up going on a live with them, calling them and flipping out, saying, you know, they shouldn't have been on a live without him. And these two girls shouldn't be, you know, getting this clout from Perez Hilton. He gets mad. Then she and these girls start like smack talking him. She even accuses him of like, SAing him, being inappropriate with her. And then the next day, she ends up talking to him again. She lies and says that she didn't say any of these things about the SA when all the viewers were watching it. They all screen recorded it. Then she hits 1 million followers. Now, I also have to say this. It looks like her account is restricted from going live, so she's using her backup account. And just after last night, that account's almost hit 1 million followers. Like, this is wild. So she hits 1 million followers. She wants to have this big celebration. She wants to go to the club and, you know, show off that she's got 1 million followers, but he's got another plan in mind. So she ends up talking to him all night. These other girls get fed up. They leave and go to the club and have their own celebration. And I don't quite know exactly what happened, but apparently they think their Airbnb is being broken into. And there's some girl there that has like a weapon and she goes out on the deck and she's like, where is he? Acting all cool. It was like, you can't make this stuff up, you guys. He ends up talking to her on the phone. She's crying like, my Airbnb's broken into. And he's like, get off live, restrict your location. Turns out the people outside were like 16-year-olds or something like that who found out the location and went to like meet her. The police show up. She logs off, but he doesn't. So all the followers go over to him and he's on there talking tough about how he's got friends that are going to go protect her. And anyway. So let's quickly talk about last night. So she gets on live, her kids are there, and she starts talking about how he's lying about her on things, saying that she's under contract and she's not, and that she SA'd him, and she's ticked off. He's trying to live her, like to join her live, and she won't. She keeps refusing him. Then she's like, let's clear this up. So the two of them go live. She starts asking him about this, saying, are you telling people I'm under contract? He says no. She pulls up a screen recording of him saying exactly that. And then he goes into how he's got all these girls signed for 5-year contracts and how he's going to make them all big and famous and how he's making her famous. And anyway, he's taking credit for everything. Now, before she got him on the live, she starts saying that she's going to get all these lawyers. And she goes, look, I've even got bruises, insinuating she got them from him. So when they do go live together, he brings it up because his followers in his chat were telling him, and she lies. She again says, I didn't say that. I hurt myself. Like the whole thing, guys, it's just a bunch of BS, but nobody can stop watching this. They're arguing back and forth, and then eventually he starts throwing on the old charm, and she's hook, line, and sinker right into it. So he's like blowing her kisses and like licking his lip. Anyway, if you want to see it, it's on my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. I will definitely be following this, but only because you asked me to. So make sure you hit follow if you're interested.